My number one guy is James Robinson, and I was trying to think of a creative way to like tie in a Goo Goo Dolls song
Ah,
to him, but
you
I
can't think of
couldn't do
one?
it on the spot. Yeah, I really couldn't. But James Robinson this year right now, he's eighth amongst running backs, seeing over 19 touches per game. That is huge volume each and every week. He is the third easiest schedule the rest of the way for running backs. He's been super consistent as well. 16 plus touches in every game this year, one of three running backs to do so. He's been a top 10 running back in four of his last six games. And the switch at quarterback makes me think that they're going to be more reliant on the run going forward than they are with Gardner Minshew, because they were running the ball the least amount in the league with Gardner Minshew. So I don't see that there being any way that they run less now with the new quarterback.
You know what? If you have James Robinson on your roster, I'm going to be struck with, hey, jealousy. All right. I had time to think of a Goo Goo Dolls song, so I had the advantage there. But one of the things that you need to do this week, and I think Mike would agree with this, I agree with you in that they're going to lean heavily on James Robinson. What you need to do is try to get the person who currently has James Robinson on their roster believe that Jake Luton is going to be awful for that team, and like you should want to give him up. Like you're not going to want him because this Jags offense isn't going to be. They certainly are. They're going to be fine with Jake. It's not going to be that big of a deal. But convince the person who has James Robinson that that's the case and that you're doing them a favor by taking James Robinson off their team.
All right, look, Petty Adam Rank giving you insights to get James Robinson in a trade. All right, Florio, give me your second guy. This is a guy who was just named as a team captain. He's kind of had a Cinderella story on his team. Who is it?
It's wide receiver Terry McLaurin from the Washington football team. We saw him a couple weeks ago as team captain, really giving that inspirational speech, Kimmy. And right now, they're throwing the ball to him plenty. 30% target share this season. That is the third highest amongst wide receivers. He leads the NFL, seeing 44% of his team's air yard shares this year. So he's getting all the deep balls this year from them. And his schedule the rest of the way is just so great. It is the third best schedule for the rest of the season. And when you look at the fantasy playoffs in specifically, fifth easiest. So this is a guy who not only can win you a lot of weeks going forward, he can win you a championship come the fantasy playoffs.
Yeah, I love this pick. And it's weird to think about right now. Is Kyle Allen currently the best quarterback in the NFC East? Now it's, I'm this Carson Wentz obviously is, but like, I don't think that his situation's that bad, and I agree with Florio. With the schedule and the way that he's got that target share lined up, I think this is one of the best receivers to have in all of fantasy football. I think he could easily be a top five. Top five might be a little generous, but top 10, I think that's perfectly doable.
All right, Terry McLaurin, you got to be a top 10 guy for the rest of the season. We have high expectations for you, but we're rooting for you. All right, Florio, hit me with your third and final guy. This one's personal to me, so I love it. I'm so excited for you to talk about him. Tell the people who it is.
I was going to say, you could trade for this guy in every league that Kimmy is not in, because I'm pretty sure, Kimmy, you're going to have this guy on your roster and not want to give him up. But it is Noah Fant, your personal friend, Denver Broncos tight end. And what I like so much about Fant going forward is he is the third best fantasy schedule for tight ends. And he's already been getting a lot of opportunity there, and he's been playing a lot better with Drew Lock this year. He's averaging nearly 14 fantasy points per game with Lock compared to just 9 with other quarterbacks. His target share right now is the 7th highest amongst tight ends. So the fact that him and Lock are connecting, that the volume is already going his way, and that the schedule is about to open up, I think he can be a potential league winner at a position that is not filled with a lot of potential league winners.
Yeah, I really like this pick. I made the same like observation, telling people like, hey, see if Noah Fant's available in your league or something like that. I'm like, unless you're playing with Kimmy Checks, because then that is not going to happen. But when you look at the state of the tight end position right now, and Travis Kelce is obviously in a class all by himself, there's really like a weird, like, it's a battle royal scrum of guys below him with like Darren Waller, TJ Hawkinson, who's been playing very well. And I think that Noah Fant is kind of entering that conversation as well. It's like they're in that second tier of tight ends. And I think that what we saw in the second half from Drew Lock last week is something that we're going to see moving forward. So I'm very optimistic about Noah Fant moving through the rest of the season.